It seems like it is that time again when Nintendo Direct fever starts running through and we start getting some more information here and there about a potential new Nintendo Direct. Now, I already made a video this week talking about some things that we could see at a rumored September Nintendo Direct. Now we have some more rumored information from some industry insiders out there, plus a bit more that we're going to talk about, some other presentations. But before we get into that, what's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos first. Now let's go ahead and first jump off into this rumor for Nintendo Direct set for the week of September 12th, with more Zelda information coming and some other games as well. But I want to just first and foremost say, guys, please take this with a grain of salt at this point. Don't take it as the be all end all, because these dates that people predict hardly ever come true. There's been some times, but usually it's just the month and maybe the day might be a little bit shaky. But sometimes it's been right, sometimes it isn't. So don't take September 12th or whatever, or the week of that, as the be all end all. But I do believe that there is a Nintendo Direct in September, which we'll talk about in just a bit in terms of my own thoughts. But let's get into what Mr. Jeff Grubb had to say here in a recent video. So according to Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb, a Nintendo Direct could air during the week of September 12th. September 14th could be the most logical date based on when prior presentations have taken place and the fact that Tokyo Game Show will begin on September 15th in Japan. Now, Grubb believes that the Nintendo Direct is planned for September 13th or 14th, depending on the time zone you're in. Now, as for what's in the Nintendo Direct, writes Nintendo Everything, Grubb thinks that, quote, there's going to be a lot of Zelda stuff, and it will be a Zelda Blowout, Wind Waker HD, and Twilight Princess HD for the Nintendo Switch, which have previously been rumored now for quite some time, are thought to be making an appearance, plus potentially The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Now, another possibility, but keep in mind Jeff Grubb doesn't confirm its presence, is the long-rumored Metroid Prime remaster, which there's been tons of speculation on. Now, Jeff Grubb further indicates that Nintendo has been sitting on Switch versions of Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD for quite some time. He said that the company, quote, finishes games and gets stuff ready for the Switch, then holds on to them. Apparently, this is something Nintendo does for a number of different titles. Now, you guys can check out the full video. I will have a link to that in the description. And I do want to comment on a couple different things here that Jeff Grubb has to say. I agree with Nintendo finishing games and then sitting on them. There's been some like data mining or data hacking that goes to show that Nintendo actually has done this, like with the eShop, where they've just uploaded the full game or it's on there or something like that. I think it was like New Super Mario Bros. Or one of like the Yoshi's Woolly World or Crafted World. There's been a number of games where Nintendo actually has sat on them based on some information that's out there. And I would think Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD and Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, these games have probably been done for quite some time, or are not very hard to get done very quickly because they're already in HD. It's not like it's Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii, where it's a 480p Wii game. You have to completely kind of do things differently to get that over on the Nintendo Switch. These are games that are already in HD on the Wii U, and we know that porting from Wii U to Nintendo Switch, according to Nintendo at least, isn't anything too severe when it comes to it, because they've done it a lot and have had great results when it comes to their ports from the Wii U to the Nintendo Switch. So I don't think that this is anything too crazy, and I feel that Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD have been done for quite some time, and they're just waiting for the right time to release them, because they do have a bunch of other games in terms of new games that they want to make sure get plenty of the spotlight. But I think that leading into The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, I think that having Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD is pretty good. And if they've got more information on Metroid Prime 4, then talking about Metroid Prime makes sense, because I feel that Metroid Prime Remaster or Metroid Prime HD or whatever it turns out being has probably been done for quite some time now, but the whole issue with Metroid Prime 4 getting scrapped and changing developers threw a wrench into Nintendo's plans. I think that stuff like like The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Obviously, you want to put the focus on that game if you're going to charge $50-$60 for it. Some retailers were charging $50, Nintendo had it at $60. So I think that they wanted to make sure that that game got its full run as well. So I understand why these games are taking a bit longer in terms of if Nintendo is actually holding on to them. Now, if you haven't seen my other video where I talk about what else could be there, I discuss Fire Emblem, I discuss, of course, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, I discuss Advance Wars, I discuss a number of other games. So check out my other video where I talked more about it. I'll have a link to that in the description as well. But what do you guys think about a possible September Nintendo Direct? I think it's going to happen. Nintendo has had so many September Nintendo Directs at this point. It's pretty much like clockwork. They don't really miss those. So I think that they're going to have another one, but we don't know until Nintendo officially confirms. But what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, now moving on to the next topic here, guys. We do have a new NIS, so Nippon Ichi Software, NIS America Showcase 2022. It is set for this upcoming week. So NIS America will host the NIS America Showcase 2022 on September 7th at 8 a.m. PT, 11 a.m. ET, the company has announced. Now you'll be able to watch it on Twitch, and I think I might be able to stream some of it. I'm not exactly sure, but the showcase will feature 4 new game announcements, a handful of updates, and a post-show with an in-depth look at upcoming games launching soon. Now, the company will also hold a giveaway for exclusive one-of-a-kind acrylic print featuring artwork from one of the newly announced games. So they also have a trailer kind of showing off potentially what you guys could be getting here, just basically teasing with the printing and all that. So the showcase discussing things, and this is great, man. It's great to see that we're starting to get some rumors and we're starting to get some announcements of different showcases and stuff happening. There is a rumor about Sony's PlayStation showcase as well, so that's definitely going to be exciting with God of War coming out, and we could see maybe Wolverine, or maybe we can see the first real gameplay footage for the Spider-Man game. So I think that NIS America, I'm not exactly sure what they're going to show at this, but I'm guessing that it's going to be some great RPG action, because NIS America has been doing a bang-up job on the Nintendo Switch when it comes to RPG. So they're actually one of my favorite companies on the Nintendo Switch. They've supported the platform for multiple years now, and at this point they've done a great job with it, and I feel that NIS America has really had like a resurrection, in my opinion, on the Nintendo Switch and this platform. I think that it's invigorated their business, it's boosted up pretty much all that they've done so far. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to what they have to show for us. But what do you guys think about this new NIS America Showcase 2022? Do you plan on watching it? And stay tuned to see if I'll stream it or not. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the final topic here, guys, we've got some brand new details and screenshots for God of War Ragnarok on the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4, but I'm guessing that these screenshots that GameInformer got are pretty much just PS5. So, new details and screenshots for developer Santa Monica Studios' God of War Ragnarok have been released by GameInformer. Now, the combat is described in the article as, quote, play with your food, according to lead combat designers Mir Sheath, and I probably said that wrong, and Denny Ye. Quote, that's an internal philosophy that we've had since back in the day, Sheath told GameInformer. Kratos plays with his food. We tried to create systems you want to engage and that are fun, very playful, lots of different routes. And when we looked at the combat in the last game, we were like, we can push this further. We can find new toys and ways of playing with enemies and strategies. That's been the guiding principle more than anything else. Triangle attacks are called weapon signature moves, and depending on whether you have Leviathan Axe or Blades of Chaos, Kratos can infuse the weapon with ice or fire. The elemental moves are called Frost Awaken and Whiplash and do extra damage. The shield also plays a bigger role in the game, as there are new Dauntless and Stonewall shields. You can parry at the last second by using the Dauntless shield. It will glow red that lets the player know they can use a smash that tosses and stuns enemies. The Stonewall shield has been designed for people who are, quote, tank lovers that prefer for slower paced bouts. Kratos can't parry while using the Stonewall shield. Well, that's definitely not me. I like my combat a bit fast when it comes to action games. Now, of course, God of War Ragnarok will launch on the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4 on November 9th, and I'm very much looking forward to going through this game. It looks like they're going to take the original game and fix so many of the things that maybe with the combat and some of the other stuff with the game and some of the pacing, just make it the best version of the new God of War that they can make. Like, I'm not mad at all that they're taking kind of reusing what they've had and just making it even better and using the power of the PlayStation 5 to really enhance the visual look and everything. So I have no problem with that at all. I think the game is going to be awesome, and if you have a great idea, why not follow up on it? Why not make another one on it? I think that this is going to be great. I feel that the story and the tone and the setting is world class when it comes to what Sony Santa Monica can do, and that kind of narrative based third person action adventure game. Sony's always been very good at stuff like that, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it all pans out. Now, the thing that I want to know the most with this is if they're going to make this expand even further, and how much further are they going to go with it. It seems like this is setting up to be like the second act, maybe in a trilogy, but I think I've also seen people say that this could be the last game as well. So for you hardcore 2018 God of War fans out there, what do you guys think? You guys think that this is going to be the second act and there's going to be more, or one more big one after this, or is this going to be the final act? Either way, God of War is a franchise that I've been playing since the beginning. I remember going out and buying the first God of War back, I think it was in like 2003 or 2002, something like that. I know it was early 2000s, playing it and being blown away by the graphics and the gameplay. It was just fun. To me, it was like the most fun PlayStation game that I had played when it comes to an action game, at least from Sony. So I was very, very excited to see where the franchise went. They followed that up with God of War 2, which took everything that was good in God of War 1 and made it better. So I think that this could be the new age God of War 2, kind of how I felt about God of War 2 back when it came out. I think that this could be that. There's always something too, like when you have certain games that you have a good gameplay concept and it was great and people loved it, but then you decide to kind of just go in on that same concept. It always usually turns out right. You know, Devil May Cry, that one didn't, but they changed the producers and all that. But, you know, Mass Effect 2, I mean, we've seen it over and over with the second games in the series. So I think that this could be no exception here, even though that God of War started before, but this is the new line of God of War, the second one in the God of War 2018 line of games. So very exciting. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys, Shovel Knight Dig. We finally have a release date for this game from Yacht Club Games. I've heard about this quite a while ago, and it's finally ready to go here. So developers Yacht Club Games and Nitrome announced Shovel Knight Dig will launch for the Nintendo Switch and PC via Steam and Apple Arcade on September 23rd for $24.99. A Yacht Club Games representative told Gematus the game will launch at, quote, a later date for PlayStation and Xbox consoles. Now, here are some of the details about Shovel Knight Dig. So when Drill Knight and his dastardly digging crew blast apart Shovel Knight's peaceful campsite and steal his loot, he grabs his trusty shovel blade and starts tunneling after them. Meet new friends and foes, visit strange lands, and outfit yourself in your quest to keep the entire land from collapsing underfoot. Jump, slash, and dig your way down an ever-changing chasm of mystery in Shovel Knight Dig, an all-new Shovel Knight adventure. Now remember, guys, this has an all-new Shovel Knight story, so it's something that it seems like to be canon within the Shovel Knight lore. It's a Shovel Knight adventure in glorious, high-color pixel graphics and sound, fluid animation, scaling rotation, and parallax to create the most convincing Shovel Knight world yet. Now, every adventure is different, so there's some rogue elements here. Shovel Knight Dig levels have been meticulously crafted and stitched together using proprietary generation techniques for infinite replayability. Now, you can grow your power and your wealth as you descend into the depths of the earth. Emerge with untold riches to outfit Shovel Knight, further unlocking permanent items and upgrades to your shoveling equipment. Now, you also have new knights and new characters, and new enemies abound, but fear not. Shovel Knight Dig features Shovel Knight's signature storytelling humor, and maybe even some familiar faces. Now, another pulse-pounding soundtrack in a new style by astonishing virtuoso Jake Kaufman. Now, this is the first collaboration between Yacht Club Games and Nitro Pixel Masters. So yeah, looks like it's going to be a pretty good game here. Shovel Knight was one of those games that kind of bursted onto the new age indie scene and was pretty much a hit. It sold extremely well across all the platforms that it was on, but especially on Nintendo platforms. And now we have Shovel Knight Dig, which is the next story, not the next, I guess, main big Shovel Knight game, but the next story that has that classic Shovel Knight aesthetic and characters and different gameplay style, but certain Shovel Knight elements into there. So this is looking pretty good. Now, it is a little bit more on the pricier side for the style of game that it is, but I do think that with Yacht Club Games and also Nitro at the helm here, and also with the replayability of this game, it's probably going to be worth the $24.99. I think that this game took longer than maybe what Yacht Club thought that it was going to take, because they wanted to make sure that there wasn't any bugs, that there wasn't any issues, and they did pack the game with as much content as possible for the price that they're going to charge, which is 25 bucks here. So what do you guys think about Shovel Knight Dig based on this trailer here? Do you plan on picking it up September 23rd, coming out at the end of the month? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.